many ways, Taiwan is riding high. This small island that lives warily in China's shadow has succeeded in cornering the market for making high-end processing chips used in artificial intelligence. Its high-tech focused economy is surging, and for a place that isn't recognized by most other countries in the world, including Canada, a lot of nations are now paying attention. But China's menacing military behavior and unpredictable U.S. foreign policy pose serious challenges. Vice President, it's very good to meet you. I'm Chris Brown.
Yes, welcome to Taiwan.
We sat down with Taiwan's Vice President, Hsiao Bi-khim, where she talked about the potential leverage Taiwan hopes to gain from its chip industry and why it's creating an expensive missile shield around the island. I want to start with some questions about Canada, first of all. Some of your media have reported about trade discussions that happened with Canada with the previous government of Justin Trudeau, suggesting that Canada's been dragging its feet at implementing them. What can you tell me about this?
Canada is an important trading partner with Taiwan, and our economies are complementary in many ways, and certainly hope that we can move forward in continuing our trade discussions. Over the past years, these discussions have been very productive, and we look forward to continuing. Is there a delay? Well, trade talks are always complicated. We look forward to and we're hopeful that we can continue these discussions. Canada has been a big provider of agricultural products to Taiwan, and Taiwan has been a producer of some key technology components that also contribute to Canada's manufacturing. And so, we would certainly like to continue a very strong and robust economic and trade relationship, and it would be helpful to have that legal infrastructure that further consolidates a trade partnership between us. What is your read right now on the broader dynamic of China, the United States, and how that might impact the very important industries that you have here in Taiwan? If you are referencing the role that China has played in the global trading system, I think we have all observed some changes and an evolution of China's role. From the 1990s, they had a policy of reform and opening and participation in the WTO and the global trading system, and they've certainly benefited significantly from that. But at the same time, in more recent years, we have been alarmed that China is now using their economic leverage as tools of coercion, including their leverage over certain rare earth minerals or other processes in global supply chains. You must be concerned, I would think, of Taiwan simply being a bargaining chip in this big trade war between the US and China. One of our key industries, the semiconductor and chip industry, has been partnered to the United States and the Silicon Valley. In fact, many people see the Silicon Valley and Taiwan's tech parks as one single large ecosystem of technology that drives global prosperity. I take your point about a joint ecosystem, if you will, particularly in the issue of semiconductors, but we've also heard US officials saying they want Taiwan to move a very large amount of its manufacturing of chips to the US. I've heard the amount is around 50%. What's your feeling about that, and how much is a reasonable amount to shift out of Taiwan? Well, let me first address Taiwan's strength and competitive edge in chip manufacturing. And that is, this is not something that happened overnight. It took us decades to build. And it was also decades of hardship under very difficult international circumstances. Taiwan managed to build one of the most comprehensive and competitive ecosystems that support high-end manufacturing in semiconductor chips. We have made commitments to investing in the United States, not just TSMC, but broader sectors of the ecosystem, from their suppliers to designers, and other chip manufacturing companies are also working with American firms like Intel to enhance their production capabilities. And so this is a very win-win partnership that we have going on, and we will continue to build on that.
You speak about adversity and a lot of hard work to build this industry up. People we've been talking to here said, well, suddenly, you know, a place like Taiwan that's only recognized by a handful of countries in the world is suddenly no longer invisible. You have a real presence in the world. As a government, as a leader, how do you leverage that into more political clout for your island?
Taiwan has really been treated unfairly by the majority of countries around the world who do not recognize Taiwan's status. But we will continue to strive to improve our democracy, to enhance our economic strength, and to also be a force for good in the world.
How concerned are you that the U.S. may perhaps back off, give China some of what it's asking for as part of a broader deal on trade?
Well, China has never ceased raising the Taiwan issue and their claims in all of their international discussions. However, at the same time, United States policy towards Taiwan has also been very consistent. And we have seen just weeks ago, again, bipartisan congressional support for legislation that deepens and strengthens the Taiwan-U.S. partnership. And we believe that as we have seen President Trump reiterating on many occasions how peace and security are priorities, how he seeks to build peace, I do believe that the security and stability of the Taiwan Strait is an important component of that.
Even today, we've seen in the Strait lots of examples of Chinese ships and aircraft crossing the line, behaving aggressively. What is your government's latest calculus on the threat, military threat from China in a possible timeline?
I think, first of all, I need to reiterate that everything we are doing in the security realm is to prevent conflict from happening. So ultimately, timelines and discussions of timelines are contingent upon our own preparedness and our strengths. It is no secret that China is investing tremendous capital in their military capabilities, and they are also conducting increasingly aggressive military exercises around the vicinity of the Taiwan Strait, which impact not only Taiwan, but others in our neighborhood and the South China Sea.
And I want to ask you about the President's announcement about the T-dome, the missile shield. How's that going to work? How's it going to be paid for?
Now, the President's conceptually, the T-dome is producing a multi-layered safety net around Taiwan that involves air defenses, but also more sophisticated sensor to shooter integration. It also includes different systems and the introduction of software and new technologies to provide that hybrid shield, which, given China's tremendous investments in their new military technologies, will of course be a very challenging task, but we are committed and determined to defend Taiwan from harm.
Vice President, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Of course.
Thank you.
You're welcome.